Welcome to EPAGA University. I'm Inga.
And I'm Julie. We are two
momtrepreneurs
who have built an in-home care business from the ground up, guided every step of the way by God's care and fueled by agape love.
16 years later and over 100 podcast episodes already under our belts, we invite you to continue on this journey with us as we share stories that resonate, insights that inspire, and practical guidance that empowers you to face any obstacle along this path.
Whether you're a professional caregiver, a family member, or are simply curious about what your steps will be when you need them, you have come to the right place.
Oh, hey, and while you're here, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
And after that, make sure you send this to a friend.
Yes, do it. All right, we'll quit fooling around and get to it.
Let's go. Class is in session.
Hello, Sunshines, and hello, Julie.
Hi, Inga.
How are you?
Oh, wound up.
Guess who's back?
We are.
Shady's back.
Whoop, whoop.
How does that go? So, long time no visit.
Yeah, I've missed you.
I know, I've missed
Weird.
you too.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that we're back, and we are
Yes.
EPAGA
Dun, dun,
University.
dun.
EPAGA University.
Yes.
We really have to work on this. People are going to notice that we haven't done this because we are screwing up left and right.
A little rusty.
Yeah, so it's almost like we're starting from scratch.
Scratch.
Remember how bad we were like when we very first?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not that we have over 100 episodes
Yes.
tucked in our little library.
I know, and I'm so excited about EPAGA University.
Oh, my word.
It's going to be fantastic, and I think it just suits us and it fits us, and it's what we're trying to do.
It is. All of this is about education. And so even with our education that we have our caregivers doing all of the time, we're going to tuck that all into the university umbrella. And we are so official now. I can't even hardly stand it.
I know. We're going to be
Just
hard
when
to
I
live
think
with.
we're awesome, we get more awesomer.
So cool.
Awesomenesses.
Well, yeah, let's just get going. This is the start of a new year.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Yep.
I think I see great things in the future. And let's roll it out with a verse.
Okay.
This is Lamentations 3, chapter 3, verses 22 to 24. It says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in him." I just think, drop the mic, man.
Yep.
What more do you even say?
That's awesome.
Just amazing. What a great start to a new year.
Yep.
If you hadn't noticed, if I hadn't said it already 10 times, we are so excited.
That's right.
What did you bring for us with your good news story?
Oh, gosh, just thinking of all of the goodness in the world, there really is a lot. Sometimes we don't think so, especially with our younger. Sometimes you go, oh, no, what are these children coming?
Oh, yes.
Anyway, but this is in India, and I can't imagine, and I needed to spend more time looking to see if it's around here, because I am so sure it is. But this story is about, in India, a group of considerate young people calling themselves the Good Fellows are changing the lives of India's senior citizens by pairing them with volunteer grandkids.
I love it.
Yeah. So basically, it's meant to combat loneliness and help bring these elders back into society. So basically, they the members of the elders' family nominate them as a grandpa, a grandpal in search of a good fellow.
Oh.
Typically, if their spouse or closest family member isn't around anymore. So basically, once they're nominated, then the family, kind of gets to meet this person, make sure it's a good match. And a lot of the times, these then become lifelong friends, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love all the efforts that get made to combat that loneliness and just help provide for companionship.
It's a big deal.
And I think that that intergenerational thing is really, really cool also because why not, right?
Right.
You see a lot on the internet and TikTok and Instagram and things like that, stories of where maybe it's a neighbor and it's an elderly neighbor and a little toddler kid or something, and they become the best of friends. And I just love that kind of thing. So that's amazing. And actually, some of the volunteer stuff that we've done and the programs that our kids have been in, they try to do things like that, even through 4-H, spending a lot of time at nursing homes and with animals and things like that. Bailey's dance group, they used to go every Christmas and dance at the senior.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, I do too. Cool. Yeah. I love it. Well, mine is going to come from my trusty old Daily Wisdom book. And this is actually an entry from the beginning of the year. So not necessarily this year. I don't know what year this book was written, but I did check the facts and they're still the same. So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and read it. And it says, success is never an accident. You don't back into great achievements, whether it's winning world championships or busting sales records. You have to approach every potential great achievement in a state of total confidence. And that was Coach Pat Riley. The Boston Celtics have won 17 NBA championships. However, there are 18 banners hanging in the rafters of their practice facility. The 18th banner is blank, but the Celtics are confident that one day they will fill the blank banner. The 18th banner serves as a reminder for the players and coaches about what they are working towards. Success never happens by accident. Success requires a great deal of intentionality. Every time the Celtics look up, they remember why they are working so hard and they get inspired to work even harder. The Celtics have made their vision for the future crystal clear. They want more championships. The already hanging banner is evidence of their unwavering confidence that they will accomplish that goal. Practices can get mundane, and sometimes it's hard to resist just going through the motions. It's a lot easier to be enthusiastic throughout the process when the ambition is clear. Remind yourself why you are doing what you're doing. If you want to be successful, you need to get crystal clear on where you want to go, and you need to believe in your ability to get there. Your overreaching mission matters. When you focus on the short term, people cut corners. When you focus on winning a championship, people go the extra mile. Mediocre teams focus on what they are doing at the moment. Championship teams believe in why they are doing it for the future. Yep. And I always kind of think about success, right? And it means different things for different people.
Right.
What I'm taking from this is what's something that I can do in my life that is a very important thing. And so my success looks like, hey, I need to be attending church in person more regularly versus watching it online, right? That's a success for me. So I don't want people to think that you have to set a goal that you're going to go out and win a championship at something. It's what does it mean for you, and what can you get intentional about to make your purpose, more focused, and I think in doing so, it becomes less daunting.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. The other thing for success is really, truly the people you hang out with.
It is so true.
Because honestly, you guys are on some amazing journeys, and, just hanging out with you makes me even cooler. But, in terms of saying, why are we doing what we're doing? And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. Yeah. Truly is kind of going back to our basics, but just hanging out with the right people, with the right culture, the right mindset, togetherness. The sky is the limit on where you can go.
Yes. And I think that matters so much. And it is true in every facet of life, even from, kids growing up through adulthood, and who you surround yourself. I think that's who you become. So when you decide what you want to be or where you want to go, and you surround yourself with the right people, the sky is the limit.
It's a big deal.
And the other thing that I've learned a lot, I think egos often get in the way when you think about, well, I want to be the smartest one in the room. Right. No, you don't. You do not want to be the smartest one in the room. You want to have smarter people than you, because then you learn from them. Yeah. Right. And basically engage with people that have talents that aren't what you have, so that you can bring out the best of collectively what you have together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even with where we work, our caregivers. Yes. Very often I can go in and do a home visit and get the general ideas of everything, but then I send in people that are appropriate for the family. And at that point I turn it on them and say, hey, now I need you to tell me how we're going to do this and make it successful for this family, because I know that they're better than me in the field. Right. There's definitely a difference of being aware and knowing those things, but then actually doing them. Yep. So you just hire those people that are that good and they're better than you in that area. Yep. And what a team. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think you don't always really recognize how much leadership is involved with caregiving, right? Right. Just on the daily, those caregivers are the eyes and the ears, and they're talking to us and they're reporting back, and they're saying, oftentimes they're saying, hey, this is my recommendation. And like you have just spoken, we are saying, okay, you are the professional in this, so we need to listen to you, and we need to help support you so that you can then be a good leader for this family and the client. And yeah, amazing. Yeah. So like you said, we are really just going back to basics today, and we wanted to start out and just talk about home care, kind of what it is, how you get involved in it, who the players are, and just maybe answer some questions that people might have, and or start you to thinking about questions that you don't even know that you have. Right. Right. So let's just start at the bottom. Let's say you go to visit mom or dad and you walk in and things aren't quite like they've been.
Yes.
Mother's always been an impeccable cook, an impeccable house cleaner. She always had everything just perfect. Her face, all of it.
Yep.
You walk in and things aren't quite up to snuff.
Yep.
And you can immediately tell if there's a difference.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
On the upkeep of a family member or their literal body or the house, or, any of those things. And you're just like, something isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
But you live 3 states away. So what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Those are calls we get every day.
Yes. And I think this is an appropriate time to be talking about it because oftentimes, during the holidays, family members do come to visit.
Right.
And then that is when they're walking in and going, oh man, gosh, all the telephone calls have seemed like everything's fine, but visually I'm seeing that everything is not fine.
Yeah.
So we will very often get phone calls from family members saying, hey, I think we need to get started on services, or what is home care?
Yep.
I think my parents might need it, but I'm not really sure how to even get started. And that's when I think you or me or whoever here at our office answers the phone. We just kind of talk about what home care is and the types of things that we can assist with.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think my goal when I look at home care is people want to stay at home, right? They do not want to go to assisted living. They don't want to end up in a skilled nursing facility.
Right.
They want to stay at home as long as they can. So as a home care agency, it's our job to assist with what needs to happen for that individual to safely be able to remain in their home. For some people, it might be, cooking some meals a couple times a week. It might be that bath aid type situation. For others, it might be that they require supervision 24/7. Call us. We'll talk to you about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been in the biz a long time, and every story is the same yet totally different. We all have a loved one that we're worried about.
Yep.
And in home care, safety is number one.
Yep.
Right. We have one family right now that we're actually going in at least twice a day to check on him because right now they're not able to move him into anything more, or they just don't feel it's appropriate, whatever their decision is. But yet there are very much concerns that he just simply can't be alone the whole time. So we go in at varied times, peek on him, make sure he's good, check medications, make sure he's fed, just try to keep him going.
Yep.
So that's an example of that. And then there's the people that just simply can't be alone 24/7.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in that case, we have caregivers that will stay around the clock to make sure.
Yeah.
Oftentimes in those situations, it's that there's maybe a cognitive situation going on and supervision is required. Maybe it's a situation where cognition is, a factor, as well as your activities of daily living, needing assistance with bathing, dressing, hygiene, toileting, those types of things.
Right.
But I mean, the cool thing about it is there is help available. And I believe that most agencies would do this, the same. I know for us, when we get that phone call, we're going to schedule that home visit. There's no obligation from a family. We simply need to be, or want to be able to assist in mapping out what that safety plan looks like. Most generally, Julie's going to be the one that goes into the field and does that home visit, talks about, what's going on here. How can we tailor make a plan for your family that keeps mom and dad or aunt and uncle or whoever it is, keeps them safe and allows the other family members a little bit of peace of mind to know that caregivers are checking in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just had a gal that we'd been with for quite a long time, 24/7. She just passed. We had to transitioned her from at home. It became appropriate to get hospice care in and team up with them. Well, she just passed, like I said, and her daughter called me yesterday, and she was like, I can't talk highly enough about your amazing women that worked with me, with mom. And in this case, they were all women. And anyway, I said, we do the very best we can every time. She goes, all I knew was that I just knew somebody was with mom all the time.
Yes.
Because she couldn't be. And she still gets Daughter of the Year award because she was raising family and working, still dropping in to see mom every single day, spend as much time as possible, but she couldn't be there 24/7.
Right.
And she just said, just knowing you guys were there and that you cared so much, it was a very satisfying phone call. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've had situations where we start out small with hours, and then as the situation progresses and the client needs more assistance, we increase those hours. We've also had success stories where we start out with a lot of hours. Maybe someone's coming out of the hospital or coming home from the facility or something, and then we're able to help them rehab to the point that they don't need as much care. So, I mean, it goes in every direction, really.
Well, and that's funny you bring it up, because just yesterday I met with a younger person that we're taking care of right now. He had a very scary motor vehicle accident, and at this point he's broken.
Yes.
He is getting better, but we're with him now until he gets back to his baseline.
Yep.
Anyway, he's able to be home now. And so, and for 3 months, he can't bear weight. He can't do anything without somebody helping him.
Yes.
So, I visited him quickly, just for a quick jaunt yesterday. And he said, it was so weird because his caregiver had said, I get so excited when I'm here because I see that you're getting better. He goes, isn't your whole point to be with people all the time? And I said, it's not. It's not, because in your case, our success is helping you get back to your baseline.
Yeah.
I said, we're starting out with more hours because you simply can't be alone right now, because if you bump that or you do whatever, we're going to have big troubles and you're going to go backwards. So in this case, once we get to start weaning out and backing up, is our success as well as your success, because together we all helped you get better and you're back to your normal self. So oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I think it blows people's minds a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of what we do, and even the collaboration with other agencies, whether that's like home health or a hospice or whatever, I think people just scratch their heads because they're like, wait a minute, I mean, we do it for the sole purpose of safety and rehab and or care till the end, whatever, based on what the client needs. That's what we're here to do.
And being non-medical, we're focusing on activities of daily living.
Yes.
So we list those out for us.
Yeah. Oh, bathing, dressing, hygiene. Some people count meal preparation as an ADL. Some say it's an IADL, but meal prep, eating assist, toileting, transferring, mobility, positioning in some cases.
Yeah. So, and the way I explain that to people that just don't understand or haven't heard that term before is basically anything that you and I can do because we're able-bodied, and we don't think about it. Getting dressed, we can bend over and put on our socks and our shoes. There's some people that they just cannot, or they can't, stand long enough to cook, or to, to go to the bathroom. Are they a significant fall risk? What is the problem? And so those are how I explain what an activity daily living is, something that we take for granted until it doesn't work anymore.
Well, and the other thing is that I want people to understand is that we aren't there necessarily to do everything for somebody.
Exactly.
But we're there to give the assistance. So I think when you talk about bathing, oh my God, someone's going to scrub my butt. No.
No.
Not necessarily. If that's not what you need.
We can though.
We can, but we don't want to. No. If it's just, bathing assistance might be getting everything set up, getting the water turned on, and or helping someone step in and out of the tub. Maybe it's washing hair or
getting
areas that somebody can't
out.
reach or things like that. So it's very individual, and that is what you primarily do when you do those home visits is like really get down to the nitty-gritty of what does this person need to be able to be safe and get to stay home.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right. Exactly what we do.
Yeah. And then I think another thing that is a really good tool that it's something we use internally from that home visit is that caregiver match, right?
Yep.
What did we say? There's a butt for every seat, right? There's a caregiver for every client, and or there's a client for every caregiver.
Exactly right.
And they are all so different, right? We have the caregivers that we have. We have young caregivers, we have older caregivers, we have females, we have males, and there is someone for everyone, which is amazing to me.
Yeah.
But you help try to figure that out when you go in and do those home visits to be like, okay, who's going to get along best here? And you can decipher a lot of that from just conversing with the family and with the client. And, some little old ladies really want a gentleman to be their caregiver, and some little old ladies would be mortified if a gentleman was their caregiver, and vice versa. I mean, the greatest match I think that you have made recently is the young man that we're talking about. And we have another younger gentleman caregiver, and boy, just the bond that they've been able to form
it's been
over,
huge.
For each other, really, I think it's been as good both directions.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of thought, I think, that goes into not only the skill set that the caregiver has, but the personality of the caregiver and the client, trying to make sure. But I think one thing that is important for people to understand with our agency is that sometimes it's not a great match. And when that happens, you just speak up and say, hey, this is not a great match. And the caregivers are also able to do that.
Yep.
I mean, we've had situations where maybe we didn't realize or know that there was an animal because the cat never came out during the home visit. And then we send in a caregiver that's deathly allergic to cats, So, I mean, those things happen, but it is it's especially for us because you are a miracle worker with the schedule. It is so flexible that it's just, it's crazy. It blows my mind.
Distraction. But to be honest with you, we say that we're a family. Literally, when you are in the EPAGA everything
bubble, something.
You are family. I mean, because we get to know way more than probably we sometimes want to know, but those things that they've got going on, sometimes they share personally, and but it helps us understand who they are,
right,
and the life lessons that they have that make them even more appropriate for a family. And because we're not always just there for the client, there's a lot of times we're there for the family, just to help them survive whatever it is they're going through. Because so many times when people are in crisis trying to help a loved one, first off, nobody ever expects how exhausting it's going to be. Oh, we're going to have dad move in with us? No problem. Just one more person to feed. We make dinner
just
anyway.
A little extra green beans.
Yeah, and that's all.
That is not how it
that
goes.
is not what happens. And then as they decline in whatever path that they're going on, it becomes more and more and more. And there are oftentimes that when people call, you can tell that they're at their breaking point.
Yes.
And you walk them through that, and then exactly, because your caregiver so well, who's going to go in there because they can relate. We actually have several caregivers that they caregive as respite from their real caregiving that they actually do in their homes.
Yeah.
But they said, I'm so good at it. This is where I find my joy.
Right.
Because I'm like, now, wait a minute. You're taking care of mom at home. Are you sure you want to come to work to care for others? And they're like, oh, yeah, this is what I know I'm good at. So they identify as that.
Yeah.
And that warms my heart, because at that point, you know that whatever family you send them to, they're in the best of hands.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
they're feeling it. They empathize, and it comes from a real place, a real heart place.
I think that ability to relate is just so huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
For
so
sure.
many times people think this is only happening to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that's really important that we try to provide through our service is allowing relationships to be restored as they're intended, right? So a lot of times when a family member becomes like that primary caregiver, everything just gets out of balance and out of whack. And it's hard because we do deal with families where they can't or won't let go of some of those caregiving tasks, but we are here to help you. We're here to help the daughters be able to have the relationship with their mom that they're not only identifying as their caregiver, right?
Yep.
Or even husbands and wives, things like that, where we want to be able to take some of that pressure off so that you can go back to what is this relationship?
Yep.
How is it intended? What does it need to be? So that you don't lose that completely.
Yes. Yes. This is probably one of the most non-formal scientific jobs in the world.
It's true. And you only learn by the school of hard knocks.
Every single time the phone rings, that adventure is going to be different. And you just have to go in there and do what you can.
I know, because we've had thousands of clients over the years and hundreds of caregivers.
Yep.
No one is the same. No situation is the same. No family dynamic is the same. It is, every single one is their own case study,
and
honestly.
Family dynamics. Oh,
it can be hard, man.
It's a joy sometimes.
It's a joy.
Yeah.
And how individuals relate to situations and how they handle it. And it's wild. I try really hard not to judge. And, even in my own family, how some things play out, and, you scratch your head because you're like, well, that's not how I would have done it. But that's because I am I and they are they.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's a trip, but it's been a good trip. I love what we do. I really still. I mean, we've been doing this a long time, and I still love coming to work every day.
I do too.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that. I think it was actually even this morning, like, oh, I get to go to work.
Yeah,
right.
Isn't that a life score right there?
Yeah,
big one. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we need to tell them? Just basically, if you think you're having issues that you just
if you
call us.
Yeah, just call EPAGA Home Care, and we can help direct you. I mean, we even, honestly, I've gotten calls, and I'm sure you have too, from friends or acquaintances that don't even live in the state of Montana, but they're just like, I don't know what to do or where to go. So, I mean, you can still call us. We'll help you try to figure it out. It brings me so much joy when I know that I've been able to help someone like get pointed in the right direction, even if it's not with our agency. Like, I just want to know that I have helped someone make their day a little bit easier. So
yeah, and it's shocking to people that we're so easy to work with in terms of trying, if it's not going to be us that can help them because of location or whatever, we're still trying to help them.
Yes.
I have a family, this is actually a guy that our kids went to school together, and just randomly out of the blue, he messaged me and said, hey, I'm having problems with a family member. And I reached out and said, you call me whenever you can. And he still has yet to do that. But knowing that he has me to talk to almost was enough for him to make it to the next step.
Yes.
You know, of course, in our lives, if people would jump a little faster, maybe we could help them through some of the steps that they're going to hit the wall.
Usually step one is noticing that there's like a decline, and then you ignore making that phone call. And step two is raging dumpster fire.
Oh, I should have called back then.
Yes.
But just knowing that there's somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
My aunt just had me call a friend of hers that lives in a different state just a couple weeks ago, because she was like, hey, they're going through all this stuff with mother, but she didn't live here, so we weren't able to help her.
Right.
But I was able to at least talk her through it. And I think mostly she just needed somebody to listen.
Yep.
But I scored with that family. And also my auntie thinks that I am the coolest thing since sliced bread.
Well, you are.
Already, yes.
You are. A little hard to live with, but... yeah, I guess that's it. So if you think you need home care, or
you
a family
probably
member,
do.
Even if you have questions and you're like, I don't even have, anybody that would need home care.
Oh,
but
you know what?
Just
we
call
love
us.
those people, don't we? Prior proper planning, and that's what this EPAGA University is all about.
Yes,
Getting
indeed.
ready before the crisis.
Yep. Awesome. Yay. Well, that's been fun. It's kind of it's nice to do a little refresher.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. We're so excited for this fresh start and to rebrand ourselves. And the name is just knocked it out of the park.
It just hit.
I love it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
It hit well.
Yep.
Cool. Do you have a grandma saying?
Oopsie.
Grandma says, next time, be prepared.
Speaking of prior proper planning,
Thank you.
Somebody dropped the ball.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Have a good day.
The Caregiven name is a registered trademark of the Veritrust Health Incorporated Company. EPAGA is not connected to, affiliated with, or endorsed by Veritrust or any of its affiliates.